because it's not an adventure remake. You're making it a different game.
Yeah,
okay,
but
so I guess
well,
this is...
okay.
RE2 used RE4's gameplay formula.
That's a weird argument, but I feel like if we get a Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 remake, I feel like we're thinking in the vein of a Crash or a Spyro, not a Resident Evil 2.
We should probably call it a part.
Well, since the part was already kind of short,
we can cut back into conversation. We don't have to like outro, intro.
Yeah, we can just do long segments, I guess. It doesn't
really matter.
I don't even know what the mission is.
Back onto the conversation.
You just have to get to the end.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard for me to call RE2 remake a full-on remake. I think the difference between remake and reimagining are so thin that it's like you can call a reimagining a remake, but it's hard for me to call a remake a reimagining always, you know?
I hear
because
you.
of things like Crash and Spyro. So it's like I feel like we should get a Crash and Spyro like remake, not a full-on but you could get away with a reimagining. I feel like if we cut Big out of the fucking game, I don't think anyone's gonna cry.
Yeah.
Or if we restructure Meteor Herd or the bad treasure hunting level,
or make it so that Big isn't mandatory at the very least.
Yeah.
What if they made treasure hunting platform levels instead? Just expand them. You're still looking for the emeralds, but it's more.
That's tough. It's like if you're just making them get to the end, explore, like that would be weird because it's like I don't know. I mean, I could see that working, but at the same time, it's like I feel like the Sonic. Okay, this is weird because like I think you're right.
Fucking camera angles.
Yeah, fucking camera angles, man.
Oh,
but I think you're right. I'm surprised you didn't land on that. I thought that was like a solid platform.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think Zeus makes a good point in that if they want to redesign anything about Sonic Adventure in general, you don't have to redesign as much in Sonic Adventure 1, and I think with Sonic Adventure 2, you can take the design mentality of the treasure hunting levels in 1 where they're more contained, smaller experiences, and you can apply that to 2 and nothing would be bad about it. Like, I think it would really fix that game's problem.
The biggest problem with Adventure 2's treasure hunting is the radar.
The radar. Exactly.
Change
and I think
that to way how it was in Adventure 1, and then you fix 90% of the problem.
Yeah, I think Adventure... Go ahead. I cut you off.
Yeah, I just think that the way to control normally, I think they're good enough to apply to their own platforming segments and levels that do carry the spirit of the action stages that were the best parts of these adventure titles. So I don't see why
I feel like if you're because what's the point? If it's just a get to the end platformer, dude, then what's the point of making it different? That's what made the treasure hunting levels different. Like, we're not even saying the treasure hunting is bad in Sonic Adventure 1. The problem with treasure hunting in Adventure 2 is that they fucked up the formula of the treasure hunting.
Yeah.
So it's like...
I mean, especially with the fact that you can only track one fucking treasure at a time, that's...
Yeah. And you can also make, like, the later levels of Knuckles and Rouge a little shorter, and no one's gonna have a problem with it, but it's like, I think you can keep the core spirit of the explorative treasure hunting levels, and it's like, you can remake that, and not, you can cut some of the fat out of all of it, But if you just make it a get-to-the-end platformer, then it's like, there's, like, when you change something about a remake, like, even RE2, if we want to call it, when we go there, they changed something, the thing about changing things in a remake is you have to tell me what the point of changing it is, and how does it benefit the game better than if it was normal, and it's like, if you make these a normal platform, get-to-the-end levels with finding the emeralds in those levels, yeah, get to the goal ring, but you can find the emeralds. Tell me how that fixes the problem with treasure hunting in general.
Yeah, we just eliminated it. It wouldn't fix anything. You're right.
Yeah, and I think you have a fair mindset, don't get me wrong. Like, I get the heart of where you're coming from. It's just, I think we can tweak that without outright changing it. Because, like, that leads into a bigger problem with Adventure 2. How do you fix the mech stages? Well, you change Tails to be more like Eggman in that they're more designed to be shoot 'em up stages as opposed to thrown in last minute stages.
I just don't think Tails works as a mech character.
Yeah, I mean, he was thrown in. I mean, that's what the prospect of these remakes is so interesting, is like, there are a lot of things in Adventure 2 and some in Adventure 1 that's like, these were rushed for time, or these were gimmicks, that you can totally go back and, like, change the history of.
Whoa! That was intentional. That was calculated. Fuck off.
Ooh,
Nice. The
nice.
mech's not being
Calculated.
there too. Like if we were to make if we were to make Eggman the only mech character, and then somehow make the platforming and action good, and then take Tails out of his mech so he can join Sonic at some levels.
Yeah.
That might change the story a bit too much, but I don't know.
It's
I
tough. I
feel
think
like
you can.
they can.
You can. Yeah. I feel
I
like
like
you
to see
can
rematch.
change it. Yeah. I think Sonic Adventure 1 is this is where the remakes get tough. I feel like Sonic Adventure 2 would benefit from an RE2 style like reimagining, and then Sonic Adventure 1, you can just remake that, and it doesn't need a ton of reimagining going on there. There's a lot of good in that game.
You would for Amy stages. Fix her, please.
Well,
And maybe give
yeah,
Well, I think that all Amy really needs is a tweaking, not so much a redesign.
yeah. Tweaking as opposed to certain parts of SA2 would benefit from an RE2 style. Let's change the fuck out of this game, while
Yeah.
keeping it sort of in the same vein.
Yeah, it doesn't really need to be like it doesn't really need to be like what's the word? Doesn't have to be a change every single fucking time. It can be something. It can be something else entirely. It can just be the same, but with better adjusted to be better. You know.
Well,
But how do you
well,
make it better? Like how do you justify the reimagining? You have to have a purpose, otherwise it's gonna be a rehash. So that's my
Yeah.
concern. And that's why
Well,
I kind
yeah.
of want to change it. So
You are fucking kidding me!
That's what you get for sounding like a jackass, Yule.
Fuck off.
No, but
my point.
I get, yeah, that's totally true. Like, I just said it with RE2. Give me a reason to literally
Okay,
remake the game.
Okay, before we go further, let's talk about this section, which is the fucking worst.
Oh, the whole campaign. I agree.
Yeah.
Yep,
But
switch to
maybe,
train.
maybe because of the fucking way that you switch rails. This is the only time I'll agree with any criticism with Sonic Heroes. The way you switch rails sucks.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
even
really
worse than it was in
inconsistent.
Adventure 2.
You
In
have to go to
Adventure
flight
2, it was
formation.
pretty. Yeah, and in Adventure 2, it was pretty fucking spotty, to be honest.
So essentially, what you're doing right now is that you're in a looping platform, and you have to find some switches. The switches are over there. So you literally have to keep switching rails, or otherwise you'll eat shit and die, and that's not fun.
Just take your time.
And now you have to wonder which is the right switch to hit, because if you don't hit the right switch, you just made the loop a lot longer. So
Right. Yeah. Okay, that's
yeah,
true.
This is dumb, asinine, and this is actually one of the reasons why I wonder why the fuck am I not allowed to change formations in midair?
Where's the other
That's-
switch?
Exactly.
That's pretty much the crux of the entire. Like,
Oh, right here.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the Sonic Adventure stuff. You're right. Like, RE2 remake was the reimagining, and it's like they answered the checkboxes I just gave with why is it a remake? Why are you reimagining it? Why are you changing it? It justifies that. It's like this makes it better because it makes a lot of the gameplay feel less tedious. It feels way more tight. Feels a lot more like a contained, tight experience that isn't bad to play. RE2 is great, but it had some rough edges, and to change the style fixes those rough edges. And you can argue the same for SA2. SA2 is not a terrible game. It has some good moments, and I think a reimagining where you change some of the styles works. And then, like RE2 remake, you can keep certain parts of that game the same to make it in the spirit of what it's supposed to be, like the adventure state. The action stages for Sonic and Shadow. You can change things about like Tails or Rouge or Knuckles, and it's like you can change the bad parts and then still keep it in the vein of what it's supposed to be as a series or as a remake.
I just feel like if you're going to take the opportunity to take two of the most iconic 3D games of the franchise, yeah, it's great to do them justice, but this is your opportunity to right a lot of wrongs and reestablish the right vision you want to go forward with Sonic. And that does not include bad gimmicks with bad controls and poor stage design. I think the focus needs to be the action platformer, but how do we incorporate other elements into that? I would love to see somehow making The mech. I mean, if you're gonna go back to the SA2, the mech. Like, how do you make that hunk of machine platform and be more dynamic and look cool? Um, I think if you adjust the physics and give it more firepower and bigger stages, you could do that. But
Well, I
there
think
has
you
to be
can
a
make it.
difference.
Yeah, I think make them well because like the thing is with Sonic Adventure 2 in the mech stages, the Eggman. No one complains that much about the Eggman ones. They work. Tails, the stage design in Tails is what feels like a problem because it's like it feels rushed and it feels like you're getting cheap shotted or having to fit through these tight. See, it's like you could totally make Tails' stages just like the SA1 or not the race, but like you can make them platform stages, and I feel like they could work easily well because like it feels like Tails' stages are designed for a platforming character, and they just put him in a mech because they wanted to go with this theme of everyone's a rival, you know? And it's like, okay, we can fix that and go back and make his the platformer stages, and then you can keep Eggman's as the Gamma style shooter stages.
Or I got
We
an
can
idea.
fix Tails by making him like he was before instead of giving him this stupid gimmick.
That's one thing, but I have an idea for the mech. What if we take the hero's concept to the mech? Like, what if it has, three main forms you can switch between? And what if, you can solve different platforming and combat situations by using all three forms? Like
Land
you
on the
have
rail,
your-
land on the rail. Fuck!
See, if you're gonna change the Eggman stage, I could see that working because it works with Eggman very well. Where it's like the gimmick of putting him in the mech was that he builds all these robots anyway, so it's perfect.
Yeah, so
Um,
even Eggman
yeah.
can go fast. Eggman can switch to something that's like almost Sonic-like in speed, but still a little
A
clunkier.
Sonic
slower,
mode. A
Yeah,
Sonic
and then,
mode.
and then you can
It's like an
design
exosuit,
parts
you know
for-
what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And then it can transport to like a fight mode. So if it's like a open-ended stages, you can kind of fly around, choose your targets, land on platforms, do all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
that would
And
be
you
a
have your
hell of
power
a. Yeah.
Where you can do like Werehog type combat moves and
But I don't want to
all
go
these cool
here.
stuff.
Or just the shooting. Like you can just go to Gamma form where it's the shooting and all that shit.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like, the tough part about doing that, and that's where I'd start to falter a bit on the feeling of a.
What was
remake,
that
is, like, I
about?
don't think.
Jesus Christ, it's fucking.
What?
No,
I
like,
just feel like Eggman.
you just get like we got to the fucking to this part of the stage where we do the
There we
speed
go.
section, but it's essentially the flight section with another fucking path. Like,
Oh boy.
and I'm like, okay, so what's the point of giving us a choice to begin with? Like, look at this shit.
Yeah, this one just shoots you back. But yeah.
Not like just. Okay, now
Yeah, I
I'm
get
here. It's essentially the flight formation.
Well, there's a capsule up there. Kill it. Yeah. Kill the enemy too. It'll open up the things. There you go. That's where I start to think the remakes are not going to happen, or at least if they do, I just don't think. This is a lot to handle for any developer. Like Capcom went through a lot remaking RE2 almost. It took them a long time to really get it down. So it's
And
like
we're
I
gonna
think
be 4 years since Forces, so I don't want to hear that.
4 years. When did Forces come out? It did not come out.
2017.
That's not 4 years.
2021. It's 4 years.
Okay, if they're developing it now, though, then I guess I can see that. Like, you don't want to hear it, but you don't. Do you trust the Sonic team to get it right the way you're envisioning? Yeah,
No.
that's the argument. It's like, do you trust them to get it right? Is
No,
one
I
other
don't.
than. Yeah.
No, I don't.
So you're right. We shouldn't. You're right. You don't want to hear that, but that's going to be a knock against Sega team. It's not
You
like my
don't
point
want
isn't
to
valid
hear
in
it,
that
but you
regard.
have to.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, who knows? Like, maybe. I mean, they really could like be hands on. I mean, the fact that they were open to Christian Whitehead making Mania and giving him a chance is like maybe it could be possible.
I mean, I already showed you the whole debacle with Christian Whitehead, the guys at the Sonic fan community, and like the whole fact that they agreed was kind of a miracle in and of itself, considering that the Sega's lawyers were like very like. I might send the screenshots to Leon so that he can add them in on during the footage like
Oh,
right now.
you're making the extras.
Yeah, but essentially I talked with Jordan Lynch about the whole process behind accepting fans doing stuff for Sonic Mania, And let's just say that Sega is pretty stingy about that deal. Like they really were like pretty cautious about the whole thing about letting Christian Whitehead do the development of the game.
Which is weird because they let him do the iOS ports of Sonic 1, 2, and I think 3 and CD, right?
Yeah, and it's even weird. It's even weirder.
Or maybe Sonic 2, 1, 2, and CD. I know they don't really do a lot of 3 stuff now. My bad.
It's even weirder when you consider the fact that they're pretty amicable towards the fan community, but they don't like it when they don't like it when they don't want to trust the fans to do a Sonic game. And that's weird because again, they're pretty amicable towards the community. That's why they let things such as the Sonic hacking contest run. It's strange, like, but I guess that's pretty much the way I can describe Sega at this point. They're fucking weird.
Yeah, well, the Sonic hacking hacking contest is one thing because you're not really making a ton of money off of doing that, right? So it's kind of just a showcase of your skills, but you're not profiting off of that.
There's a difference between doing something for the money and doing something for the fun of it.
Yeah, or even because isn't the hacking contest also kind of charitable in a regard? Like anything they do make is for charity.
I believe so. Yes.
So it's like
I'm pretty sure it is.
So Sega, regardless, Sega would look like a bunch of fucking dickheads for shutting that down. Excuse me.
They have
Yeah,
bigger problems
It's
to deal with than
still
fans.
such a legal forest when you're dealing with something that's already licensed by someone else, especially by a giant
why?
corporation.
Why
did you do that?
Vector? No, I was holding down X.
I'm gonna go fuck whoever's down there up.
Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, like it's really weird when you see Sega, actively promoting the fans at some points, but at the same time they also don't like the fans. They don't like they're like, quote unquote setting boundaries, and I think I see why. Because they want to protect their trademark property, which is Sonic, but at the same time, if you're gonna be this lenient towards fans, who gives a shit about the trademark?
No, because it's easy to say this about Sega, but the weird thing is let's go to the Zelda. We brought up the Zelda Mario spin-offs and all that, and how they did give some of those properties and IPs to other developers, but they kept them in the same vein. Like Cadence of Hyrule is the Sonic Mania of Nintendo right now, and it's that they really gave another team with another vision a chance to kind of do something. And because you can't compare the games, don't get me wrong, but the concept of a well-renowned IP going to a different team of people to do something is Cadence of Hyrule is right up that alley. And Nintendo was also kind of wary about it, but here's where Sega fails and here's where Nintendo succeeded with this. Nintendo kind of let the Cadence of Hyrule team, the Crypt of the Necrodancer people. Yeah, the Crypt of the Necrodancer people kind of just do that gimmick, and they let them have that freedom. But Crypt of the Necrodancer people also knew that, no offense to Christian Whitehead or any of them, what Sega being so spotty on them, the Crypt of the Necrodancer people also said in interviews, yeah, we know how important this is. We cannot, put it bluntly, they didn't say it this bluntly, but they basically said we can't fuck this up because if we fuck it up, we're never going to get another chance. And Nintendo will have every right to be conservative with their IPs. Yeah. And I think even though they had Christian Whitehead make those remakes, I think that Sega had that same mentality with them, even though it was not as justifiable as Nintendo's. Beyond that, it's I understand that mentality, but now that they've proven that this happens, I think it Christian Whitehead made a better Sonic game than Sonic Team has in the last 15 years almost. I think Generations and Colors are pretty good, or Generations for the most part is universally beloved, but Sonic Team is out of touch.
Mind the peanut gallery, but yeah, I don't think that I think that Sonic Colors is a pretty solid game. So
solid game, but you can argue there are points about Colors that kind of suck. I mean, it's debatable, but it's still better than some of the other stuff.
It's consistent at least. And they do show a lot of care and passion to stage design.
I'm just gonna say this much: I'm glad I'm not playing Colors for the channel.
Yeah.
I don't like Colors. Colors DS, on the other hand, which is the better version of the game.
Legon, you can at least agree that Colors shows better design and consistency than something like Forces or even Unleashed.
Yes, it does. I can agree with that
Fuck.
much at least.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
much
for
as
sure.
I don't like it, I can agree it does better at being a Sonic game than more modern Sonic games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Ugh.
And I think that's the weird thing about this Christian Whitehead. Like, I feel like Christian Whitehead has shown that mentality more than Sonic Team has recently with like Forces or Lost World. You know, that's what makes it weird.
That was
that was
unintentional.
accident.
That
That
was unintentional.
That
Fuck.
was an accident. That was kind of hard. It's like that's kind of bullshit. They kind of just put it behind a fucking canister. That was bad. Why would they do that? Just get hit by an enemy. Like there. Run into it. Okay, or kill it. Run into that guy with the shield.
No.
So
Do it. You're
One
fucking not getting any ring
When-
bonuses, Yul.
whenever-
You have
when-
13 rings.
Whenever I do that
Yule.
whenever I do that on purpose, something goes
Yule.
wrong.
Do it.
Please,
Yul, just
have
do
mercy.
it. There, fine.
There.
Jesus Christ, guys.
There you go. You took over the team. Good job.
That was your own.
Fucking-
Okay. There.
So what I was gonna say for Bullet Station, yeah, we can criticize this game all we want for the repetitive game design, but at least there's some ideas in here that I think could work. Like I like that bullet train sequence, but they just don't do enough with it. That could have been some great
Fuck.
platforming, and I don't know. Like I like constant moving levels when done right. And
I
with
like
high
them.
speed-
Here's the problem with this stage. You're constantly on rails, and the rail mechanics are fucking ass.
Yeah.
I think what was it? Rail Canyon was kind of a better
Rail
example of
Canyon,
what you're
yeah,
talking
Rail
about.
Canyon was a better example because this one doesn't put you on rails, but it does love putting this shit on you.
I love putting you in a shit ton of situations that are tight when the mechanics don't support it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that one.
At least this one was harmless.
That we only cleared with luck.
Yeah.
30 out of 50 capsules.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know, guys. We might actually get this done by tonight because Yule's going at a pretty breakneck pace.
I know,
Yeah,
but
Compared to most people.
yeah, because
Which
these
Which is not
stations
saying
usually
much because this is chaotics.
because these stations usually take like 20 to 30 minutes, and that's being
Yeah.
generous.
Compared to most people and compared to Yule in Team Sonic. Ironically, because actually I think Yule's done slower with Team Sonic because that was the only one we had to
Actually,
do.
you kind of did.
Yeah, that was the only one we had to do 2 sessions for. Everything else was 1.
Remember how I aced the fucking Mystic Mansion? I really want to.
No.
I really want to. No.
Oh, right, the Persona section.
Yeah, I really want to. I really want to do that. I mean, I also
game
got.
freeze.
I also got through the Mystic Mansion in really quick time. I think 8 minutes compared to a lot of people who actually go for 16 minutes or more.
Yeah.
Some
That was pretty
balance
good.
issues this stage.
Oh, this boss.
For some reason, I thought you were gonna say somebody once. I was like, why? Have I really transpired into memes now? He's okay. Even though this
Oh,
level
man,
kind of
fire.
this stage kind of sucks.
Yeah, you know what? I found a better strategy.
What?
Ah!
Spam, spam, spam,
Ah!
Right?
spam. Such a game design right here. Smash the A button. Everything.
Impeccable game design. Why did you stop? Why did you stop doing the perfect strat?
Because he actually, I've tried that before, by the way, and there are moments in this like that too, where you get.
Oh, camera.
What? What's
dear.
this camera
You can
angle? What
almost
the
get
hell?
What the hell was that?
Yeah, that's why the strat's not perfect, because you can A, get launched back onto the platform when it gets attached to you in a weird way, or B, you can get shot off into the fucking
Watch out for that
abyss.
propeller.
Yeah!
or-
I'm gonna attack the propeller! The propeller is going to help me!
Everybody super sonic.
Everybody's Eggman's just like, stop it, you son of a bitch. No, this is cheating.
My propeller! You fucking asshole!
Fucking- You're OP. Why are you in Smash Bros? You're so OP. Stop it.
Oh god!
That's why you shouldn't keep doing that. 'Cause you
That's
can-
where
you
you'll
can
get
walk
right
onto
now.
other things.
Yeah, bitch!
Alright.
With 1 HP.
I
was
just
afraid
just
to
saw
jump stage.
someone like fucking jump. Yeah, did you see that? Someone like jumped off stage.
Yeah. Someone jumped off the rail into the uncaring void.
The pit of despair.
Yeah,
Destroyed.
but yeah. I
The
guess-
chaotic
Hey,
people,
what
the,
about how many
chaotic,
times
the
you press the A
chaotics,
button?
the chaotics went out.